What if I told you that the way that you end this year really sets the tone for the blessings, the joy, and the growth that's going to be awaiting you next year in 2025? You know, the end of the year is really a sacred time. It's a portal, a time for reflection, release, and most importantly, renewal. Hey there, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another Mindful Monday. I am your host, that's right, your girl, Arika Trimnell, here to offer you some unique insights for us to be able to grow spiritually, professionally, helping us to embrace every single color of our journey while breaking free of the prism of limitations. As we approach the end of the year, I invite you to join me in a reflective journey. Today, we are going to explore the profound spiritual and emotional significance during this time. It's a time to share simple practices and close out the year with intention and grace. So, the end of the year, oftentimes we are still in the rush of the holiday season, right? We just finished. For those of you who celebrate Christmas, we've in the throes of Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all of the things. This is more than just a calendar flip as we get to the end of the year, but it really is a natural pause. If you didn't watch last week's video, I invite you to go back and watch last week's video where we talk about this time being the sacred pause and how important it is for us to align with the rhythm of nature. And so I invite you to look back to last week so you get a better understanding of what this time frame is all about. So the same thing also applies to now as we get closer to the year. Nature hasn't changed, right? Nature isn't saying, okay, it's going to be January 1st here in a few days, so we're going to flip the script and everything's going to be great. And we've put some intentions or some New Year's. I put some seeds in the ground yesterday, and so they're going to sprout up today. No, this is a time to look back and gather wisdom from reflecting. So the spiritual significance of this time from ancient traditions is that this time is held as a very sacred time. For those of us who know, we just went through the winter solstice. And so now the day and the light, we're going to start heading back into that spring where we're going to get more light. But we went through the winter solstice where it was half and half, and that was a portal. That was a time that opened up this transformative time of deep reflection and transformation. And in Ayurvedic, the winter time is time to slow down. We talked about this in the last episode. This is where you conserve your energy and you start building those internal reserves. So when spring happens and growth and what we planted now, we can start to see. And so that becomes the turning point. It's a chance to move from darkness to light. For any of you who have partake in plant medicine, majority of the ceremonies are done at night. And part of the reason is a symbolic show of going from darkness to light. So if we start at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, those of you who've done my ceremonies know that I like to start late, and then we go to the wee hours of the morning. So you have that day break, and that represents the growth from darkness to light. It represents the now maybe new awareness you have or the new insight that you've gained from a plant medicine ceremony. So again, just to reframe using spiritual tools, ceremonies, nature as a reflection point on how we can harness this energy so that we operate in our best and fullest self. Now, you know me, my background is in biology and public health. Don't ask, that's a conversation for another time. So I love bringing in that spiritual perspective as well. Reflection is a beautiful thing because it actually activates a network in our brain that really helps us process our experiences, which helps build on our self-awareness and can really help us, for those of us who create intentions or create New Year's resolutions. We can use that because now we've had time to really sit and process this year, where maybe in years past you haven't taken intentional time to slow down, to pause, and reflect on the year that has passed, what you've learned, what you've gained, what insights. What do you really want to leave here in 2024? And what do you want to carry in 2025? What are some things that you want to pick up? It's really does your affirmations, your resolutions, intentions, whatever that you do for 2025, a disservice if you do not take time to reflect. And so when we reflect, we're able to gain clarity on what has not worked, what has worked. And this is honestly an act of honoring the journey that you had this year. So it's so important to take this time to reflect. It's part of the power. Another thing before stepping into something different, you gotta let go. If we follow the Mary Kondo kind of effect of, okay, does this still resonate with me? What can I let go so that I make room for something new to come into my life? The same thing when we're thinking about a new year. What is it you want to release? What is it you need to release? What is being called for you to release right now in this moment so that you can step forward with things and tools in 2025 that are actually going to serve you? So I implore you to think about that and figure out what works best for you. We are not on this journey to continue just to collect tools and collect tools and collect tools, because essentially that's going to weigh us down. And we're going to get to a point where we're like, we've got all these tools. Most of us probably aren't using them. So they're taking up space that we could use for maybe bringing things into our lives, not maybe tools, but maybe love, maybe companionship, maybe connection, maybe something, something else, but just something to think about. The other thing is the emotional aspect of holding on. What happened to us in the past can really be not just an emotional thing, whether it's like resentment or regret or self-doubt, but that creates what's known as an energy blockage. That's right. So it's not only preventing us from moving forward in the 3D world, it can prevent us to move forward in 5D. It can prevent us from moving forward on our spiritual journey. We can feel like we're stuck in cycles. So if you felt like you're stuck in the same cycle, it could be the fact that you have created all of these energy blockages that prevent you from moving forward. And you really need to do some purging. You really need to do release. So whether that's through somatics, whether that's through Reiki, whether that's through plant medicine, whatever vibration you need to help you attune your instrument, that could be exactly what you need so you can move forward to 2025 or the next year and call in or manifest things that are way beyond your wildest dreams. I love doing, rituals apart from affirmations. And there's so many cultures that use what I love, fire. I'm an Aries. So I love fire, and you can use it as a cleansing ritual. And so what you can do is maybe write down some things that you do not want to bring with you in the next year and have this as an act of release. And it shows the transformation as you burn whatever it is you wrote down. You burn it in the fire. I've got a fire pit in the backyard. You can use a torch. You can use the indoor fires, or if you got a fireplace, definitely leverage that. Do a release ceremony and see what changes for you, how that impacts how you move forward, and maybe the speed in which you move forward. So things to think about when you're doing ceremonies. Again, that's just one of many release ceremonies that you can do. It's one of my favorite, of course, because I'm an Aries. But anyway, it makes me think about last year. I'm on this journey too, and there was a point where something had happened to me, and I really, years ago, I had held on to the guilt and to the shame, and it really weighed me down. And not only the manifestation of it, the emotional burden, the energetic manifestation of it, but also the physical manifestation. I end up hurting my knee. I end up also gaining physical weight as well. So we might think that it's one little thing and it's not a big deal if we don't deal with it in this moment. But that little thing can really turn into that snowball turns into an avalanche where you have all of these additional things that are going on in your life that the root cause was you not letting go, you not doing the work, you not forgiving yourself, or, whatever that situation is. So I really encourage you to take some time. I know it's uncomfortable, but to lean into that uncomfortableness of doing the work of whatever it is that you need to release, whatever renewal, whatever, basically doing a life assessment. If you need help with that, I have a life assessment on my website that you can use. It's free of charge. And it really just gives you a really good representation of where you are in life right now. What are some areas that you could use a little extra tender love and care? What are some areas that you are doing great in? So maybe you don't need to pour into those areas as much. I encourage you to use it if you feel stuck and you do not know where to start. As always, when we reflect, we can't forget about our wins. Reflection isn't just about taking the nuggets of wisdom, taking the L's and turning them into opportunities for wisdom and growth, but really honoring the wins. Think about something that you've overcome, a lesson that you've learned, a small moment that brought you joy and happiness. Take time to honor those moments. Have gratitude. Maybe you write yourself a gratitude letter about all the things in your life that you are grateful for that happened this past year. I love doing gratitude. If you've seen me at events, you've seen me with my gratitude jar, where I encourage a moment of gratitude, not just from the spiritual perspective, but also looking at it from the scientific perspective. Of course, the fact that gratitude helps relieve stress. And for those of you who know, who know that stress is a cause of so many of the things that we deal with on the physical level. And so when we find healthy ways to deal with our stress that don't lead to additional problems later on in life, I am all for that. But you got to find out what works for you. So the energy of the new year is about transformation. We're going into 2025. 2025 is the numerology number. It is 9. So we are in completion and transformation. So I can't wait to share that with you as we talk about that next week, because we'll be in the new year then. But think about the intentions that you want to set. Energy is truly just a reflection of what it is that you hold inside. So instead of focusing maybe on a resolution or maybe something that is very materialistic, maybe focus on the alignment you want to have. Because to get the materialistic thing, to get into that resolution, you have to be at a certain frequency, at a certain wavelength to call that in. And so maybe focusing on that. Maybe you want to choose a word or a theme that helps you align to that. So last year, you guys know, or this past year, I should say, you guys know I had like 3 different words, sayings, mantras is basically what I use to help me guide this year. And I absolutely love it. It's what I'm going to carry forward for next year. And having something that's so simple, I don't have to remember all of the 30 million resolutions that I set for myself. I only have to remember 3 things. And that has been a game changer for me in helping me make decisions that actually align to who it is that I am constantly becoming and what it is that I want to call in my life. The other beautiful thing about having something that is short, like having 3 things or 3 words or whatever, or 3 mantras or 3 affirmations, is the fact that when you want to take those and make them maybe a visualization exercise, maybe make them into a meditation, if they're words, turn them into mantras. There's so many things that you can do with that and have that just as a starting point, as an anchor. Another thing I like to do is take that and make that into anchoring rituals, which really help me ground into the intentions that I set for that year. Taking small things and making it your own is what this is all about. And when it comes to these moments, taking these moments for reflection, there's so many ways that you could honor what it is that you are calling for next year, the year after that. And some practices could be, journaling as well. Maybe some prompts that could help you would be like, what moments from last year brought you immense joy? What challenges did you overcome? What are some of the things that I need to release? Person, place, thing. Use the nouns, right? Use your nouns. What are the person, place, things that I need to release? I like to come up with at least one from every category. What are some people or people types that I no longer need in my life, and move forward with that? So as we close this year out, which seems kind of weird, I want to invite you to really take time for yourself. Take time for a pause and reflect. Give yourself the acknowledgement of the release. Give yourself the acknowledgement of the pause. Give yourself the acknowledgement of your intentions, not only for this past year, but for the year coming up. And remember that endings aren't really conclusions, but they are just beginnings in disguise. If this is a video that resonated with you, I implore you, please share. Like, I am trying to grow my channel. I get use all the help that I need. Again, this is me setting that intention. Together, we are grounding, we are grateful, we are becoming more aligned with our true selves and breaking the prism of our limitations. Until next time, stay mindful, stay reflective, stay true to yourself. Thank you. Bye.